Hello, live stream audience. We are so excited that you are here. We just played a bunch of games. Let me hear it if you won something. All right. We're not going to tell you who won the games yet because that is still to be celebrated later. But we're going to enter in the download phase of this, so we're so excited you're joining us. Teenagers are going to come up here and download what Jesus did in their lives at winter camp to you guys, because you don't need to go to winter camp to experience who God is. So as they get ready to come up, I'm just going to kind of set the table. First of all, the theme of this whole weekend was reset. Everyone say reset. If you didn't type it in, you're doing this wrong, live stream audience. But the whole concept was this verse, 2 Corinthians 5:17, which says, the old has gone, the new has come. When you accept Jesus, a lot changes for you. And by a lot, I mean everything. So that verse says, when anyone is in Christ Jesus, it's a whole new world. The old things are gone. The new is here. So if you need to claim that tonight, if something in your life needs to reset, or if there's something in your past or your future that you're freaking out about, just know that you are a new creation when you accept Jesus. Everything is new after that. And so that's the heart of the download and the whole weekend. And so I just have a couple things I want to share as a couple students begin to line up and get ready. First of all, I've never been so proud of a group of teenagers as I was this weekend. Every leader, it's weird that you're clapping for yourselves, but I'll take it because you had so much integrity. You are the Diff everywhere you go. And I have people stop me on the street to tell me how amazing these teenagers are, and I agree. Okay, so the speaker's name is Josh Sperry. He is in charge of all the kids pastors in the state. Not a job I want. And he said the most profound thing that I want to leave you with today as we start the download. It said, your leaders' kids are dependent on the church you create. The decisions you make now will affect the church they grow up in. Now, I am too old for that to be true for me because my kids are the ones in the audience creating that church. But I want you to think about Phoebe for a minute. She would grow up in the church culture you create. That's a lot of pressure, so do it well. And the other thing he said was, does your existence demonstrate the goodness of God? Does your existence demonstrate the goodness of God? Because that's our goal, right? We're supposed to be living testimonies. All right, so students, it is now your turn. If you went to winter camp, come on up. Don't be shy because we want to hear everyone, so we don't want to waste any time. So come on up and share your testimony.
So what I got from Winterfest was we did breakout groups, and it was the third one, and I went to the forgiveness one, and it talked about not forgiving yourself, but asking God for forgiveness, because you're not God, and He's the only one that can forgive.
Hello. Okay, yeah, it's on. What I got from Winterfest is when they said to not be a people pleaser, I really connected with that because I find myself really trying to please others instead of trying to please God and please myself. And so what I really got was to not focus on what other people think. It really doesn't matter. Only God's opinion matter. And that you should just really not care what other people think because, it doesn't matter. So.
Mine was also similar to Reina's. They were talking about people pleasing, and that really just hit me hard because I realized that sometimes I just often care about what people think about me rather than if I'm glorifying God. So this week and from now on, I'm just going to start trying to live for God rather than what other people think about me.
What's up, guys? I just wanted to talk about the worship. Our church was really hype when we were all worshiping. I just saw that other people or the other church was not as hype as we were, which is totally okay, which is fine, I guess. But it was a different experience because not all Christians are the same, and not everybody is perfect. And I just think that we don't have to please other people or make other people think different about us because we're the Diff. We're the different people.
I just wanted to say how I learned that not to be a people pleaser, and I realized that I was a people pleaser like a lot, but now I'm not really as much.
The main thing I got from this is like a part of that, like the people pleasing. A lot of the times when I think of people pleasing, I think of like doing things for others, and in most scenarios that's good, but when it's to the point where you can't even be yourself around others, that's where that changes. And I realized that I need to just let go of my insecurity and just give it up to God. And Annie helped pray with me, and that was super awesome. And so yeah, that's what I got.
So for me, what I got was that, I guess kind of the overall was that don't look for the big things, find the little things and make them into joy. Because I was supposed to have baseball. I was going to drive back at like halfway through, I guess, and it got canceled. But I stayed and went back. And my favorite song that truly shows me the most of like how to live through God was done. And I hadn't actually heard it in a while. No offense to worship people, but you guys are great. But I just haven't heard it in a while, so it was just nice to hear that. So I guess it was more like look and use that as a little thing versus always going into it as like a big thing of learn something big or find something big for me. So yeah, that was it.
So mine was it was an offshoot of the people pleasing, because I feel like I don't have that problem as much as other people do, at least in other people pleasing. But what I really struggle with is pleasing myself. And so, and I feel like I really got that because I'm a perfectionist and I always want things like done exactly how they should be. And if they're not, I kind of get depressed and I just don't feel content with myself. And so I really learned how to feel content with myself through that.
For me, a big thing with going to events like these, I really like taking the saying. And there's a saying about, can't exactly remember it, but it was focused on the people pleasing. But there's another one that it said, right things in the wrong order are still wrong things. And for me, I personally I'm looking forward to my future. I'm looking forward to having a job, having a car. And I've noticed that God is trying to he's preparing me. He's readying me. He's putting the right things in the right order so that when I come out of it, I'm fully prepared to go out in the world and talk about him and either start preaching on the stage or preaching out his word.
Hello. So what my takeaway, I guess, was the second part, the second half of the whole event. We're all stinky, after snowing, and everybody's shoes are off, and it's real nasty, and you get the gist. But during one of the segments of the worship part in that second part, everybody just started pew pew across the room praying for people, and I was like, wow, man, just reconfirming how loving the church is, and people are thinking of one another even though you don't think about it, nobody's looking at me, I'm just in this corner here, but people are praying for you, they're thinking of you, they love you, and everyone's connected, and just showing how tight-knit it is and stuff with everything, and it's just really cool to see, and just an aha moment kind of thing. But yeah.
Well, for me, I got from, wait, 1 sec. I have to think of this really quick. Okay, so basically what I got from the retreat was people pleasing, but I've been trying since the retreat because I've pleased more people than I should please God in a way. So since that retreat, I've been trying to pray every night, and when I wake up, go on like the Bible app, read my Bible, my paper one, and then write down notes and like my favorite quotes. And yeah, so I've been trying to please God more than people.
Also, the people pleasing was the number one topic, but there was a thing that he said. It said the more you search for people's approval, the less you care about what God has to say about you. And I felt like that whole time I was thinking of that, like naturally. I was just like, oh, what are people thinking of me? What are people saying about me? But then after that sermon, I just felt like attacked almost. Like, that is so me. Like, why did that get spot on? It said, like, people pleasers have a hard time saying no. They search for the approval of others, and they're extremely sensitive to criticism. But after that, we went to, like, our groups, and, like, I was just in my team, and I was just, like, thinking, like, oh, if I come up with a chant, they're going to make fun of me. Like, what are they going to think of me? But it was almost like, who cares what people think about you? Just go have fun. And if you have a good time, then that's all that really matters. And so when I came up with the chant, we all just kind of got involved with each other and got to know each other way better than if I just seeked after their approval and, like, cared about what they said about me. But I could just kind of, sorry, I'm, like, running out of breath. But if I could have just focused on what people would think of me, I probably would have never made that chant or never been more involved. But because I was like, you know what, it's all God's plan, just be more involved, then I wouldn't have to worry about their approval.
Does it work? Okay, yeah. So one thing that I got out of this retreat was that through your pain, you find your identity, and that really hit me. And I realized that a lot of pain in your life can define you, and sometimes you don't have to let it. But if you look at the pain and see how much you take from it and see what you can learn from it and then put out to people, your choice is if you put out a negative vibe or a positive one after the pain, then you can see what actually comes out of you for it.
So I had a couple things that I could pull out of it. I have two of them that I'll just say right now. I'll keep the rest to myself. But one of them was God wants more for you than from you. And that just helped me kind of realize, because I've been like struggling with school and stuff, that he's there to help me, I guess. He wants me to actually go through with school than me to like really pack everything on me. And then worship, I can't remember what the title of the song was, but I feel like he spoke to me through it because, like I said, I was struggling with school and, like, struggling with life because the whole COVID thing kind of sucks, and I am definitely one of those people that like to go outside and, like, hang out with people, but COVID's kind of brought more sadness to me, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but he really spoke to me through one of the songs and really helped me realize that he is there for me and he's going to help me through everything that I've gone through.
Okay, so for sure, one of the things that I got. So for me, leaning into God was pretty hard. Like, I came here because I had to, obviously, because I started living with Chris. But, like, leaning into God was pretty hard for me because before the whole Winterfest thing, I guess worship was just somebody singing in the background. I didn't really care about it. But when I went there, the worship just meant like a whole nother world. It was like I was on a different dimensional planet. So I like leaned into that more, and I understand like it's not just them saying words, you know, just singing. I understood it more. I started leaning into God more because of the worship there, and it was really crazy. But yeah, that's what I got.
Yo. Okay. Sorry. Okay. One of the big takeaways I feel like is actually the sweatshirt, because like this verse was like a major takeaway from the reset, because it really it was something that was kind of the main topic of the reset, and I feel like that's such a big takeaway. It's just that verse, 2 Corinthians, and also some other takeaways that I got was like not forgiving myself. Well, yeah, forgiving, but like asking for forgiveness from God and not like just saying, oh, I'm sorry that I did that. Okay, I'm good now. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I have like asked for forgiveness and I've told God about the things that I've sinned about, you know, like, but I just feel like that's something that I need to tell myself, is not just forgive myself, but I have to tell God about my stuff, and I have to forgive and tell him about the things that I that I want to apologize about for sinning. And so yeah, that's what I got.
So one of my main takeaways from the whole Winterfest thing is that God wants more for you than from you, and that was really special, I guess, because it really made me think, and it was how much he gives us unconditional love and how much forgiveness he gives us. So I really put that into retrospect, and that was really good. And also what Justin was saying about the sweatshirt, how it's cool, I feel everywhere you go, people will see that Winterfest logo, and that I don't know if they'll do that, but they may be okay, what's that? And they look it up and come to the church. But at least they will be encountered by a verse from the Bible right here on our sleeve. So I thought that was pretty cool.
The main thing that I got from the Winterfest is that when he was talking about not being a people pleaser, I kind of thought since middle school pretty much, I've been starting to think a lot more what people think about me, oh my God, someone see this or someone see that. But ever since that, I've been kind of just dropping all that. It's helped relieve a lot of my stress in my life. So it's just helped a lot by just dropping all that. Just don't care what other people think of you, and just go preach God and stuff.
One thing I got from the retreat was One thing I got from the retreat was when we first walked in, we were grabbing our mask and our sweatshirt, and then me and Jacob went to go play football, and there was these other kids. There was these other kids that were being rude to me and Jacob and stuff like that. And then when we got down to worship, there was this one song, again, I don't know the title, and it hit, and then I just don't know how to say it. I got closer to him by that.
Okay, so here's a little photo that I took a picture of. Becoming obsessed with what people think about you is the fastest way to forget about what God thinks about you. And I feel I struggle a lot with that, especially being an extrovert. It's really hard to have to pretend to please everyone. It's you please one person, but then you have to please the other one, and then you don't please the other one. It's just very draining. So every single day I've been trying to work on that, and I have a bunch of notes, so it's really helping me from what the preacher was saying, because it spoke to me.
All right, guys, before we say goodbye to the online audience, I want to leave you with one thing which you heard referenced a lot. One of our main verses was the all things are new on our arms, but the second one that kept coming up that the speaker talked about was about people pleasing. And here's what it says. In Galatians 1, it says, "Now, do you think I'm trying to make people accept me? No, God is what I'm trying to please. Am I still trying to please people? If I still want to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." And it's basically saying what they said, that if you are so worried about what other people are thinking, you're not worrying at all about what God is saying over your life and for your life. And so that's definitely one of the biggest takeaways that we had for the weekend. And so take that with you. We are going to now in a second say goodbye to our online audience. There's nothing more powerful than hearing about teenagers talk about their God. So I want everyone in this room and online to take the one thing they want to download to their life. What's the one thing a student said that you want for your life? I want you to just take that, write it down, memorize a verse about it, however you want to engage with that thought. I want you to do that. And we're going to worship live here, but I encourage you at home to worship however you need to on your Spotify list, or maybe just the things you can click on this YouTube channel, and just have your moment with God. So everyone say goodbye to the online audience. Yes, goodbye, online audience. We will see you next week. But if you are still here in the building, we have a couple more things for you.